Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents Ravensbrück, Life and Death in Hitler's Concentration Camp for Women, by Sarah Helm. Narrated by Christa Lewis. To those who refused. Consider if this is a woman, without hair and without name, with no more strength to remember, her eyes empty and her womb cold, like a frog in winter. Meditate that this came about. I commend these words to you. Primo Levi, if this is a man. Prologue. From Berlin's Tegel Airport, it takes just over an hour to reach Ravensbrück. The first time I drove there in February 2006, heavy snow was falling, and a lorry had jackknifed on the Berlin Ring Road, so it would take longer. Heinrich Himmler often drove out to Ravensbrück, even in atrocious weather like this. The head of the SS had friends in the area and would drop in to inspect the camp as he passed by. He rarely left without issuing new orders. Once he ordered more root vegetables to be put in the prisoner's soup. On another occasion, he said the killing wasn't going fast enough. Ravensbrück was the only Nazi concentration camp built for women. The camp took its name from the small village that adjoins the town of Fürstenberg and lies about 50 miles due north of Berlin, off the road to Rostock on Germany's Baltic coast. Women arriving in the night sometimes thought they were near the coast because they tasted salt on the wind. They also felt sand underfoot. When daylight came, they saw that the camp was built on the edge of a lake and surrounded by forest. Himmler liked his camps to be in the areas of natural beauty, and preferably hidden from view. Today the camp is still hidden from view. The horrific crimes enacted there and the courage of the victims are largely unknown. Ravensbrück opened in May 1939, just under 4 months before the outbreak of war, and was liberated by the Russians 6 years later. It was one of the very last camps to be reached by the Allies. In the first year there were fewer than 2,000 prisoners. Almost all of them were Germans. Many had been arrested because they opposed Hitler, communists, for example, and Jehovah's Witnesses, who called Hitler the Antichrist. Others were rounded up simply because the Nazis considered them inferior beings and wanted them removed from society. Prostitutes, criminals, down-and-outs, and gypsies. Later the camp took in thousands of women captured in countries occupied by the Nazis, many of whom had been in the resistance. Children were brought there too. A small proportion of the prisoners, about 10%, were Jewish, but the camp was not formally designated a camp for Jews. At its height, Ravensbrück had a population of about 45,000 women. Over the 6 years of its existence, around 130,000 women passed through its gates to be beaten, starved, worked to death, poisoned, executed, and gassed. Estimates of the final death toll have ranged from about 30,000 to 90,000. The real figure probably lies somewhere in between. But so few SS documents on the camp survive, nobody will ever know for sure. The wholesale destruction of evidence at Ravensbrück is another reason the camp story has remained obscured. In the final days, every prisoner's file was burned in the crematorium or on bonfires, along with the bodies. The ashes were thrown in the lake.